Okay, so we just had the announcement of Gears of War E-Day. Now, I will play the trailer at the end, so if you're interested in seeing the trailer, you can skip to the end, then you can see my reaction or whatever. Now, when this happened live, we didn't have much of a reaction, I'll be honest. At first, I was a little bit like, hey, Marcus Phoenix looks a little bit different. This is strange. Like, at first, he kind of looked old, then I was like, no, he's definitely young. Then I saw some Locust, and I was like, okay, they're putting Locust in, but why are they putting Locust in when we're all about DB Shepherds and stuff like that? And then, Dom appeared and the big screen panned out and there was corpses everywhere and they revealed it wasn't just called Gears, it was called Gears of War E-Day, and it's going to be 14 years. I think it's prior to sort of Marcus Phoenix's story. It's going to be like the whole, you could argue it's almost like the rebirth of Gears, and it looks, for want of a cliche, dark and gritty. I found it very difficult to watch, I'll be honest with you, because of the position I'm in. So I don't think I'll be able to play the game, and I hate to keep banging on about it, but when people want to hear about my reaction and my take, my initial take was a bit of, it's a shame, because for 2 years I championed in the best, most fair way I could, getting critique, data, stats, visiting the dev streams, playing with developers. I had developers purchase me the game, purchase me DLC, DM me on Twitter and asking if the game's going well and if I'm having fun. We had a really, really good sort of working relationship, if you want to call it that, with the developers, and I really felt like the game was getting good. Then the game really, really drastically went downhill, and you could tell that they were just kind of wrapping up Gears 5, and it's like they thought this isn't working. Now, in my preview and my expectation, I said that if they just re-release Gears 5 version 2, aka Gears 6, we're going to be stuck with the same Shepherd DBs, the same rubbish story, and I don't think they're going to innovate enough to kind of remake a whole new world. Well, I was kind of right, and I was kind of wrong, So they agreed, I suppose, with, hey, this universe is rubbish and we have no idea what to do with it. So we're just going to bin it off and we're going to go back to some tried and true. Now, I think for you that's good, because you get a little bit of fan service, you get a bit of nostalgia, and they treat you with a bit of respect and they give you something you want. But I want you to be cautious, not because I'm here to downplay it for any reason, but we haven't yet seen any gameplay. We haven't yet seen what they do with the story. And we have seen kind of, gritty things from Gears 5 that came out to not really be that gritty and dark. But I would say this, I don't think they messed this up because of the direction that they've taken, and it's very, very evident that they've realised that this new universe trilogy with all these spin-off characters just weren't working, and maybe they need a little bit of time to go back to the drawing board and wrap up that story and work on it, or because they're not happy with it. And I think, I think they're spot on to do that. And I've always said all the way throughout my channel, if TC ever do anything good or bad, I'll just say it how it is. I think this is really good. I think this is a great product. I could be hesitant and say, I don't know where the innovation comes in. I know a load of Gears people are hyped, but I was watching some other people's streams that were non-Gears players, and they were like, oh, it's the same game again. It's Gears of War 27, Gears of War 25. To a lot of people, they just say, oh, it's Gears of War, oh, it's killing some Locust, same old game, play it for a few weeks on multiplayer and then get bored. Now, for the hardcore fans, that's exactly what you want. But how long will that last? Will it bring Gears back to the forefront? Will it be this insanely big game that's super popular forever? Or is it going to be a bit of a nostalgic flash in the pan? You play the campaign, you play a few months of multiplayer, it gives you that feeling back and you really enjoy it. The interesting thing about this is when I said I don't know what they do with all the new weapons and all of the junk they put in Gears 5, they don't have that problem now. They can put in a breach shot, an old Lancer. They can bring in a new weapon and say, oh, this was a prototype from early days, etc. But when it comes to me and my thing, I just want to say this, like, I spent 2 years of lockdown every single day with you guys streaming, even making videos post-ban. And I just hope you're able to enjoy it, because I won't be able to. You know, I'm happy you guys in the community get a game that you can play. That's all I want. But it was just hard to get excited, because I'm not going to be able to play, it seems. But I'm glad TC listened, and you guys are going to get some classic Gears action, but it won't be for me to enjoy. That's what I think, because when I signed into Gears of War, it wasn't like, hey, you know, your account, you were caught cheating, you're going to get banned. It was like, no matter what account I made, somebody was watching the stream and informing them and banning them, so it felt more personal. And I just want to reiterate, for those that are unsure about the situation, this is how crazy it is. I saw a picture there was no work been done on Gears for years, and a new developer liked a picture of an animal. Now, anybody that's sensible would think, I don't need to investigate that, because it's a picture of an animal. Now, if this was a picture of somebody saying, hey, I'm coming out as bi, gay, whatever, obviously I'd be like, that's really good. I have no issue with any of that, right? I would say that's brilliant. But that's not what this was. This was a picture of an animal. It would be like you going to your friend or somebody's Twitter feed and seeing that they'd put a picture of a giraffe up, a shark, a jaguar, a leopard, and then you retweeted it and said, oh, I wonder if this is going to be the new Gears of War Horde boss, because we'd just had an animal that was the Horde boss. It was that big flying animal, you know, that big flying bug thing, right? And so I didn't do any investigative work, and it turned out that this picture of a skunk was a BioWare developer coming out as a skunk. Now, I wasn't to know that, because when you see a picture of an animal, anyone's brain doesn't go, oh, I better double check that this is not a human being coming out as an animal. So no, I didn't check it, and I retweeted it and made a joke. I think one of the Gears devs was friendly with the BioWare developer, and they got rid of me. I don't know if that's true, but that is the reason, and I think that's an outrageous reason. But if that's the reason and you want to stick with it, it should not be carrying across multiple games. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, it's difficult for me to get excited because of such a crazy situation. But I'm glad, you know, that I fought your corner and you got the change that you deserve. You know, at least when you're playing it, you can think, maybe I had a tiny portion of to play in that. But yeah, it's just a crazy one, because you would also to just paint some more images in your mind. The person who I retweeted, probably not the most sane individual, because when I retweeted their image, they messaged me and said that I'd stolen their artwork that they paid for and had commissioned by a professional artist. Now, I don't know if you know how Twitter/X works. If you see a video or a picture and you press the retweet button, you're not stealing that video or that artwork. You're retweeting it. So listen, this person was really pissed off at me and probably kicked up a fuss and got me off the game. And, you know, hey, fair play. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But this should not be carrying across multiple games. So if you feel I deserve to play the game, give Coalition or Gears of War a tweet. #Freezy, you know. But seriously, like, it's just, yeah, it was very difficult for me to get excited, because I've played the game since 2006, and I won't be able to kind of relive a story that I want to play because of some absolute nonsense. So, you know, I can hold my hands up and say, oh, I apologize. Like, I didn't mean to offend you. It was just a joke about something that wasn't even related to you. And if you got really offended by it, it was never my intention. Like, but it's just crazy the way this spiraled. I mean, we literally have some like bloke stalking me. If you want that whole story, go to my Twitter and see my pinned tweet video. Like, we got so much flack for that it's very difficult for me to just open up my arms and say, fantastic TC, like, brilliant, because we haven't seen any gameplay yet, and yeah, I am still a bit salty. And people say, oh, get over it. Why should I? It's a game franchise that I like to play, and when I feel like playing a video game, which is very rare these days, but when I do feel like having an hour or two to play some video games, I'd like to play a video game that I enjoy. and not be kicked off it because of some nonsense, which, by the way, we don't even know if that was the case because it was never confirmed. I'm just having to speculate. So it's boring to have to be talking about this. What I want to be doing is talking about the Hammer of Dawn coming back. I want to be sharing clips of me using the Hammer of Dawn. You know, the breach shot. I want to be talking about what I think they'll do with the environment, the movement, and all of this stuff. But I can't because my overriding emotion is just, it's a shame that I can't play the game. Right? How would you feel right now if TC messaged you and banned you and said, by the way, we had a look at your Twitter account and we don't like you. You don't get to play our game. You'd feel annoyed, wouldn't you? And rightly so. So, yeah. I'm glad you all get to enjoy it. Bit of a salty one, sore one for me. But you know, I tried for you guys. At least I was honest and I tried for you guys. So